Welcome to episode 6, guys. We're going to talk about contracts today. I know that doesn't sound fun, but we're going to make it fun, I promise. We're also going to do a new segment. Stick around for that one for sure. We do some recording independently of one another and ask some questions. You're going to find out a lot about the inner workings of TRIFLIX. It's hilarious. So stick around, check it out. Don't go anywhere. Welcome to TRIFLIX Cast. We are professional videographers and photographers talking about the latest tech tips, techniques, business practices, and a bunch of other stuff flubbed together because we're professionals. To my right is...
Tristan, I'm a director.
Oh, welcome, sir. To my left is...
David, I'm an office manager and efficiency guy.
That is his natural speaking voice.
Yes, he'll be doing it the whole time.
Because that's how he talks.
And I'm Cole. I'm the producer here. Between the three of us, Bing Bong, somehow we run a company. Ooh. It's called TRIFLIX.
Yes, yeah. All of us.
We're based out of Columbus, Indiana.
The company.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's like a... What, like an 80-20? Like a 40-40-20? A 50-50-50? Yeah, you're right.
Yeah.
You're right.
Yeah, it's like Apocalypse Now meets The Office. Something like that. Somewhere in there. That's where we are.
Yeah, welcome to the apocalypse.
So I want to credit Daniel, our editor, for the news story today. Mm-hmm. It was his request that we talked about it.
Oh, good.
I liked it. I thought it. I was like, hey, you know what? He's contributing to the writing.
Yeah.
Or the structure, I should say. We don't really write, but we structure.
Yeah, he contributed to a bullet point.
Yeah.
There could be a big one.
With that.
Not all bullet points are made the same.
I guess I'm not on the Twitter.
Nope.
But David is.
I look at memes on the Twitter.
There you go. But Twitter has a new owner.
Oh.
His name is Elon Musk. He's kind of a...
Who's that?
Daddy Musk. Daddy Musk got the Twitters.
He's the king twit, is what he has been saying. So
yeah, did you let it sink in?
Yes.
Oh man, I wouldn't have let it sink in.
That's fine. I'm saying that to preface the news story, though, and I don't even know if it was really a news story. It was more, again, it was clipped from Twitter. Go figure. But I guess Elon tweeted and asked if they should bring Vine back.
Oh, yeah. He's been talking to Mr. Beast about that?
Yes.
Allegedly? Through tweets?
Okay.
Yes.
Allegedly?
So,
I don't read Twitter.
You know, I really dig the response from Mr. Beast. So they put it out there. Of course, at the time of the screenshot, bring back Vine, it was a poll on Twitter.
Who owned this originally? Like, is this something Twitter owned, or is this just like...
Yes.
Wow.
Well, Vine Twitter got it. They bought it when it was really popular, and then they just killed it.
Yeah. That's why it died.
So Vine and Musical.ly and all those were like just kind of predated TikToks.
Vine was before Musical.ly.
Yeah. So these like all predated, and because they died out, this abomination of TikTok
Twitter took Vine out and put it down for like no reason.
So no reason at all.
So Twitter still owns the IP for it, and that's why he kind of jokingly tossed this out.
Yes.
Yeah.
So the funny thing was on the poll at the moment that this screenshot was taken, no was 31% and yes was 69%.
Wow.
Nice.
Who would have thought?
Yeah. No, I wonder what that like age demographic is, because TikTok's like relatively young, and then probably creeps, I think, are like the two major demographics of who would be on that platform. Like
Twitter?
On TikTok. So it's like, I wonder if there's like an overlap of like...
everyone. I mean, it's one of the more popular services now.
Yeah, but I mean, like YouTube is... Every platform has like a demographic. Like YouTube is like largely in part, unless it's like YouTube Kids. It's like...
I'm telling you, this is... I mean, other than maybe...
Boomer Facebook and all.
Other than, probably, I don't know where the threshold is. I know Facebook was 13. Mm-hmm. I don't know if that's the case with TikTok as well. Uh-huh. If it is, then everything below that, other than lying about your age, everything below that is obviously not the demographic, but it's like...
I just assume that
it's
Twitter...
very widely adopted.
I would just assume that Twitter would have an older demographic than TikTok at this point.
Oh, yeah.
So,
for sure.
Yeah. Why would people on Twitter want a I don't know, different version of TikTok. You
Well,
know
no,
what I mean?
They grew up with Vine.
I was gonna say the thing is we live in the nostalgia age. It's
Yeah.
like remake everything and rebrand and throw it all out
Yeah.
there, and it's like
MySpace came back for a little bit, right? And then it died.
yeah, and they're like, oh, it's such a big deal. I was just listening to a podcast the other day, and the guy was like, it'd be awesome if you could go back and look at your stuff, and I was like, I agree, but that's the thing that they want to play on. But the conversation, it was very interesting because Mr. Beast is no dummy. This dude knows his stuff.
Yeah.
And he was one of the larger people to reply, and he said, if you did that and actually competed with TikTok, that'd be hilarious. So then Elon came back and was like, what could we do to make it better than TikTok? And so Mr. Beast came back and he said, no one is original anymore. Whatever you do will be on every other platform the next month unless it has a deep moat. YouTube has Shorts, Insta has Reel, Reddit, Snapchat, Facebook, etc. all copied TikTok. Whatever you do, make it hard to copy or it's a waste of time, in my opinion.
Yeah.
That makes sense.
Dude, he's
Right?
He's Jimmy's something else. The Mr. Beast, real name Jimmy. Allegedly, we don't really know for sure.
No one knows.
Never seen the certificate.
Who is the Beast?
But,
This is the beginning of the petition to see Mr. Beast's birth certificate.
He's a really smart
I
guy.
want to see Jimmy Beast on that birth
I
certificate.
want to see it.
Yeah, I would
Born
love
in
to see
Beastville.
more interviews with him. And
Beastalina.
maybe get him and Elon in a room together. I think
Yeah.
it'd be a fun video.
If you guys are listening,
Yeah.
Yeah,
come on. If you're
Come
one
on.
of the 13 people that listens to this podcast,
yeah.
come on in.
Elon and
Yeah. The
Jimmy.
two people whose personalities are they have a lot of money.
I would disagree with that. That would be a great question for you to ask him, of course. But Jimmy is doing his podcast tour right now, where he just goes around and just jumps on podcasts. I don't know how much he schedules, but
I've
why
wanted to
not?
do that. We should do that.
A tour.
Yeah.
I bet if
Yeah.
like you message him, be like, "Hey, we're small. We can't pay anything. Come on our podcast."
Dude, he
He
gives
might.
he
He
gives
might do
out
it.
hundreds to thousands of dollars to
Randos.
people for things. It's like, I don't think it's a stretch.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Come
but
to-
that's one of those things that's so hard, though, because that people probably ask all the time.
Free publicity, yeah.
Yeah, you know what I mean? Like, not for the right reasons, which, I mean, I get. It's like, if Mr. Beast came on the podcast, we'd probably be okay for a while. You know what I mean? Like, we'd
Yeah.
get some views, and then people would actually find us. That'd be amazing.
Yeah, the initial push.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
We'd have to follow up, but still. I don't know. I think it'd be fun, but yeah,
Yeah.
I don't know. If you guys are listening, come on. Especially
You know what
Elon.
gives me a push?
A little bit of coffee,
Coffee.
right?
Exactly.
Exactly. I
From,
thought we were talking about coffee, not
Hey,
eggs.
you can have some eggs with your breakfast at Coffee House 5.
Boom on the sandwiches.
Mm-hmm.
Would you like?
Let's roll it out.
Would you like to start it? Would you
You
like
can
me
start
to?
it. You
I
can
can
start
start
it.
it. I can start it. Okay. Are we going to switch off though?
We can do it. Yeah.
Okay. Okay.
Mix it up.
We're going to read our first ad spot from Coffee House 5, everyone. They're a great coffee house, okay? So listen close. With locations in Franklin and Greenwood and soon in Bargersville. I actually just drove by it the other day. It's looking good.
Yeah.
It's going to have an outdoor section, which I think is going to be
little
really
patio.
cool. Yeah. Yeah. And I've heard some talks about some other beverages being served there. Don't quote me on this. I'm just speculation. But hey, it'll be awesome if so.
Cool.
So, anyways, third in Bargersville very soon. Coffee House 5 is Johnson County's premier independent coffee shop to relax, study, or meet friends and around great coffee and great food Monday through Saturday.
Wow. Whether it's handcrafted espresso or single origin pour over, you'll enjoy the freshest, smoothest coffee possible, roasted in-house at their Franklin location using a unique air bed roasting process.
And if you want to learn more about that process, you go on their website and they have a beautiful video.
Oh my gosh.
I don't know who made it,
I don't have
but it's
any-
beautiful.
I don't
Check it
know
out.
Anybody makes good videos.
We made it.
Oh.
And don't forget to pair your coffee with a ham and cheddar scone, biscuits and gravy, made with their award-winning Parmesan chive biscuit, or any of their pastries or sandwiches prepared in their Franklin kitchen using family recipes in a style they call Midwest comfort food.
As if that's not enough to get your attention, Coffee House 5 is a a for-benefit coffee house.
Nice.
All the profits are invested in building a stronger community through their support of local mental health services, which you can read more about on their website, coffeehouse5.com. That's F-I-V-E, not the number 5. So next time you're in Franklin or Greenwood and soon Bargersville, stop by Coffee House 5.
Nice. Go check them out, guys. It's definitely worth it. Okay, we got some mugs here that are nice and fancy and blue and white. I actually just saw the other day that they released new mugs with their new logo on it, and it looked like they were black and white, which I think is really cool. I was like, nice. I think they're white with the black specks on it, so I don't know, looks good.
If you had the Husky mugs, you could just swap them in.
Yeah, swap them in. We did a video for that as well.
Yeah.
They were supposed to post that, and I have not seen that yet.
Oh, get called out.
I gotta hit up Husky.
This person.
They're actually a pretty big company.
I'm sure it's slated.
Next
May.
Yep.
Nah.
That's the earliest their social calendar could post.
Right.
They're busy.
Okay, so today, guys, I thought we could talk about, because this is on our minds at the moment, contracts and legality, the things that come up when scheduling and setting up shoots with clients and things. A lot of people, I think, glaze over this fact or this part of the business when it comes to photography and videography. There's actually a lot of good resources out on the web to use a template or have. I think there's Rocket Lawyer and LegalZoom. All these guys have some templates that you can use to at least get something out there to protect yourselves. And the main reason why we wanted to talk about this is we've been working to up our game with this, have some good templates, have some things set aside, write in some custom language that, is specific to what we're dealing with on a day-to-day basis. So, I think whether you're an amateur or professional, and I think we fall somewhere in between, they call us professionals. I think it's important. And it was one thing that I never did at first, and I wish I would have. What prompted this, and Tristan knows this, we had a scope change. And for those of you that aren't aware with that term, like a scope of the service of the project, as everything that was agreed upon service-wise. We agreed upon the fact that my team is going to come and we're going to shoot for a day, and this is the rate, and this is why we're coming out, and this is what we're shooting for, and this is the script, the story, all the things, the shot list. And when those things change, sometimes they add things. Nothing wrong with that.
More work, more money.
Right. But it changes the scope, and then it changes the amount of money because we work more hours, we work more time, we do more things.
What do you mean?
I
can't ask for more for the same price.
Who would have thought, right?
They trapped you there. We got you here. Now you have to do it.
Yeah, I think a good analogy is something that I thought about right off the bat when Tristan just said it was like when you go to the car wash and you pick your wash, you get XYZ, right? You're like, oh, I paid $15 and I get the underbody and the wheel bright and the clear coat.
Yep.
But if I were to tell them that, pay that, and then roll through and then say, hey, can you tack on, rim clean and I don't know, right, a wax and a buff? They'd be like, well, that's more money. Well, yeah.
Or if you had a restaurant, you can't, like, if you order like a bottle of wine halfway through your meal, you don't get it for free.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
So why would you expect? No.
But like, if in our industry, it's a little more nuanced than just like a flat rate for certain things. So whenever a client's like, hey, we're in the middle of a shoot, but we want a couple of changes made, it's not something that we can like in 10 seconds rattle off a new answer. We could just say, well, it'll cost more. This is how we would price it out, like an hourly rate, but I don't know until I sit down to actually look and estimate it. So it's not that clients aren't aware that there's changes allocated. It's just setting that expectation.
They don't know how much it costs when they ask for it.
Yeah. And I mean, it's complicated because it's like there's 3 ways that we usually price things out: by hour, by day, or by service. And we try to do by service because people like a la carte. It's simple. It's easier for them to understand. And then people from bigger companies are like, I only need you for running a camera, running audio. I just want you here for a day. What would it be for one person for a day? So we try to come up with things that work well for different industries, because some people don't like one or the other, so we can offer alternatives.
Yeah, and I mean, and maybe it's only us, but I don't think that's the case. I mean, I think pricing is kind of a black box of, you know what I mean? I mean, there's resources out there, and we've all seen them. And I think if you're really doing it right, you know, you've got that game kind of figured out, and to a certain degree, we do. But it's not, you know, trying to cater. We like to cater to the customers and the clients, and you know, we're still at the point of needing to take pretty much everything we can handle, time-wise or resource-wise. So, I mean, at that point, you want to be competitive. So you're playing all these things. You know, I want to be competitive, but I don't want to be the cheapest.
Yeah.
What can I offer to help, you know, to help push that cost a little bit more, to help me with a larger return on profit in the end? It's like we're looking at all these factors that come into play. And one of those things is scope change. You know, there's comes a point in a project where someone goes, hey, you know what, it's all good, throw it in, go ahead and do it. And you're like, are you sure? Yeah, it's going to cost more. Are you sure? Yeah. And I think we're just trying to work through this process of setting the expectation up front. And the only way I think to do that is not only to verbally have the conversation with your client or your customer, but to also be able to, a contract is literally all these terms laid out in front of somebody. Now, whether they read it or not, it's not really our problem, except when it comes up. But the nice thing is it gives you a reference point. But as long as all parties sign at the beginning, then all expectations have been set and we can move forward. And if anything needs to be changed, everything normally, especially with contract language, it's like, you know, unless all parties agree upon, which is a great line to throw in there.
Well, it depends on the person. So we've ran into that less with most clients, less than most.
Right.
I'd say it's only been a handful of 2 or 3, and it's usually a company that's big enough to have their own legal department. And that's even then, it's not, even those companies don't always mind it, where like they'll ask for that clause to be included. But there's been a handful where they're like, I don't like that clause. And it's like, well, why not? And they're like, well, a contract should be a black and white statement, and there should be no gray room for it to change later on.
Which is hilarious, because it's like, show me an industry that's just, it's, you know, hey, here's a contract, it's black and white. I mean, that's why you have to pay a lawyer to come in usually, because nobody knows how to read that stuff.
Yeah. Yeah.
I mean, it comes up and you're reading through it. It's like, if the company does X, Y, Z, then this happens unless this decides to be happening.
Yeah,
and
then clauses everywhere.
Yeah.
It's like the terms of service when you sign up for Facebook. You just go,
why won't you read?
Yeah. And I mean, 90% of contracts, all the language that's in there is from learned experiences. So whether there's amendment after amendment after amendment or addendum, whatever.
Yeah.
Because at the end of the day, we're going to pump out this contract and we're going to say, oh, this was great. And then we're going to get burned on one thing. And we're going to go, oh, okay, add this language in for the next time.
Yeah. And it's like, it's really weird because I always grew up on handshake agreements, and it's like the contract is just writing up what you agreed upon. But then you still, every once in a while, you'll deal with somebody who's just, you know, whether the paper was there or not, they're trying to nickel and dime every way they can. It's like, I get it. You got to run a business, but it goes both ways. You want to find somebody that'll do the job well, but it's like, we also want to find clients that are easier to work with.
Right.
It's like, if you've burned too many bridges, you're going to run out of either clients or running out of people that are willing to service you.
Yes.
So it goes both ways.
And at the end of the day, right? I mean, I think everybody gets it. It's like, if you're trying to run a business, that's your end goal, and you're working with these clients and these people to make money, and that's the goal. I mean, not only do we enjoy it, we're lucky we get to enjoy what we do on a day-to-day basis, but there is an end goal. I probably wouldn't be shooting every day if I didn't have to. If I just had all the money in the world, I'd be going cross, overseas and shooting landscapes and everything, and just doing wherever go. I just saw freaking Peter McKinnon got back from Iceland, and I was like,
that's what you do? You want to go travel and shoot?
I would love to. Landscapes, I've always enjoyed landscapes. I mean, between that and cars, it's like, those are the two things that I would just travel. Like, if I could follow a race team around the world and just shoot, I'd do it.
David, if TRIFLIX wasn't paying all your bills, what would you do?
I'm paying all my bills.
All your
bills.
Yeah, if TRIFLIX wasn't here,
all
big
bill.
Big Daddy TRIFLIX,
the water bill.
Just paying them bills.
Wow.
and Cummins and wherever else you may be employed. I don't know. Wherever that money trickles in. What would you be doing if money was no object?
I don't know.
I
don't know what I would do with myself.
I don't think about things that can't happen.
Oh, come on. Why you got to do that?
I don't know. Have you ever done
I
improv?
really think- have
you ever done improv?
No.
Okay, good. You'd be great at it.
No, we did that once, the Christmas thing. The Christmas green screen.
So one of the rules of
Did we ever
improv
release
is
any? We released some of that, right? No, we released it.
Yeah.
you're well aware the first rule of improv is
Don't say no.
Don't say no. Yeah.
Yeah.
I want to make sure that was a joke.
No,
right?
I remember that very well because Cole said no to one of my setups in the improv. It was like, "What are you doing in the bathroom?" It's like, "You're not in the bathroom." I'm like,
Anywhere's the bathroom if you try.
The bathroom.
Yeah.
So I'm definitely in the bathroom.
The second rule is don't explain the joke. So we both broke the improv rules. I don't know
Oh
if those are
no!
Yeah, I didn't go to improv school, so
that's all right.
That was a horrible idea in general. It was funny. But
It was fun. It was a good experience.
What was I supposed to say?
We asked you a question about how you would spend your time if you weren't trifling at
The answer is
TRIFLIX.
it wouldn't really change much. I would probably still be here.
Aw.
You're so sweet.
I guess.
What about you?
You know,
Yeah, I guess as well.
I critiqued your first initial answer, but I up to this point I probably haven't given it much thought.
Wow.
Ah,
All
right, Cole.
I don't like traveling. I know it wouldn't be traveling. I'm not a huge fan. If money's no object, maybe just first class.
That's what I'm saying,
The
though.
helicopter comes to my house and then we go, something like that. But I kind of assumed the question was like from like your bills were paid for. It's not that you were just Elon
correct.
Twitter rich.
Correct. Yeah.
So like
Essentially, you don't have to work for the money.
Yeah, so I just I live on like a standard amount of money and all that. It's like I would probably just be home with my family. Like I would still grow a YouTube channel. Like I would want to invest
I ditched
into
my
that.
family.
I did.
I said, "Peace out and go to Iceland."
Yeah.
Oh.
No, I work a lot more now, and I kind of enjoy being home more. But I don't think I would. I definitely wouldn't travel. I hate traveling so much.
So if you came into a whole bunch of money, would you just like finish your house and sell it and buy a different house?
I would probably go build a house. Yeah, I'd probably just if it didn't matter, it's like I'd give my house away and go build what I want, where I want, and
just give it to somebody.
Yeah, I would build out a great studio for myself, and you guys can come if you want. But if we're all making money, then you guys can go do your own thing. I guess you can come if you want. I'm gonna go have a studio, and I just want to make YouTube videos all day. just go make some fun content, make some short films, go play with something bigger than a Ronin for once.
Yeah, I get that.
So
I would think we'd also.
I'd live on a farm.
Maybe I'm wrong, but I know we've always. I mean, right? We've talked about our goal with TRIFLIX is to get creative freedom, and that's part of kind of what we just discussed. But I would hope that when we all converge back into the same geographical area, once I'm back from jet setting, that we would, we'd make small budget, short films, things like that.
Yeah. No, I really like the video that you guys did this week for Halloween. Which I know by podcast release date, who cares?
No,
I'm talking about the Halloween video that came out.
You're correct. This week.
This week.
All right things. You're on the right track.
No, it was sick because it showed that like in a short amount of time we can still do something fun and creative. It's not a short film, but it is a short, and it still shows like. So it's short, and it still shows like a lot of like some creative liberties, and I've always wanted to do some of the style matching of other content, so it was cool seeing you guys make something.
Well, thank you. I'm really proud of it. I know it's a 60-second vertical short that we maybe put 4 or 5 hours in collectively between shooting and editing and all the things. But it was one of those things that helped me to realize that I have grown in other ways in this industry. And I've told everybody this. That was one of the reasons I partnered with Tristan was his video knowledge, because I found out very, very quick that I had no idea what I was doing. I understood resolution and frame rate and all these things, but I was that guy that I thought that there was so much that moved over from photo into video that I didn't understand fully. I would just set up and then use
Yeah.
my shutter to change light.
And you don't want to do
You
that
don't
in
wanna do
video.
that.
But I mean, I think once you start getting in the higher end cameras and shooting raw, it does get a little more similar, at least in
Correct.
the post side of editing and grading. But yeah, you don't want to change your shutter in the middle of a shot.
Oh yeah.
No, that bad.
No, I know.
ISO's where you'd want to be, or indies.
Well, and I wasn't really thinking about white balance at the time. I'm serious. It was just
post.
pretty much,
Which
is still bad, even with photography. Because
even with raw.
I mean, you can change it, but it's still one of those things where at the end of the day, like if you have an intention and you know what your shot, if you know what your shot, or if you know what you want your shot to look like, there's no reason for you not to do it in camera. There's no reason at all.
Yeah.
And if you want to change it later, that's fine. But if you have an original intention, do it.
Yeah.
Because there's still only so far you can push an image. Now, you can push a photo a lot further, don't get me wrong, but still,
Yeah.
there's still things that it's worth going in and doing.
It depends. I think it just comes down to efficiency. If you want it accurate, it is better to do it in camera. But if you're shooting for efficiency and it's like, I know that like for video, if I shoot it at the same white balance for a whole house, I can go back and color grade by room, as opposed to if I try changing it throughout and I get halfway through a room and I realize it was the same lighting as a previous room, I might change it. So then all throughout my edit, or I'll be looking at footage with variable white balances.
But I think
it's doable.
I think that's what I mean more. I think now, I mean, especially as much as we shoot, I think it's more for efficiency.
Yeah. But it's not for artistic value or merit in a way.
No, and I think I'm more worried about composition when I'm doing something artistic.
Mm-hmm. Like if it was a paid project, you would take the time to lock in the white balance and stuff. Like if it was just you're shooting pictures of a mountain or your kid or something.
I probably still would.
Yeah.
Unless it was a moving subject and I was worried, like if I didn't have time.
Yeah.
I know I can still probably pull out what I want of it, but there's no reason not to try to get it where you want it. I mean, especially being able to see the image through the screen and go, okay, this is what it looks like. It's hard to look at an image and go, oh, I'm at, 2800.
Yeah.
And I'm looking at your skin. I'm like, oh, that's not what I want.
And the funny thing
You're
is, these
great,
are
man.
like all artistic things that you can't put in a contract.
This is true.
This is why people come to like a professional, because it's like, I just want the job done right. And it's assumed that our knowledge can get us there in a lot of cases. And
most of the time we can.
Well, yeah.
I mean, you know what I mean? That's the beauty of hiring a professional. If you, if we send you a picture and you're like, the skin's too orange.
Tomato man.
Tomato man.
We understand the things that go into an image that makes it look that way.
Yeah.
I mean, that's the beauty of it, is I'm like, oh, okay, it's too orange. I understand what you mean. I understand what you need. Or it's just like our client that had the hairy shirt.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, there were
dog hair.
Yeah, so I went in with Photoshop and I removed a lot of it to make it look natural. The goal is natural, not, oh, there's something wrong with that guy's shirt. So I went through and took care of what I needed to. I missed a couple images, so we sent them back and I took care of them for him. But it was like knowing exactly what to do and go in and be efficient about it is part of it as well.
Yeah. That's a good point. And I would say too, it's like a lot of times you'll know something's wrong before you'll know what to fix to make it right, I would say. Because it's like you can like walk in a room and you can feel that the colors are off, like the white balance of the light or the walls or something. Like you can tell just by looking at something's wrong, but you can't always tell immediately what you would need to fix, like in camera, to make it look correct. But if you can at least identify the problem, you can isolate like 2 or 3 solutions that would probably get it there, and then you can just dial in those, as opposed to just like you walk in with your camera and you just like start flicking everything until randomly it's like evolution. It's like, if you just if it just enough iterations, eventually it'll look right. Now try doing that for every room in the house or something, or every environment that you're shooting, or every scenery, or whatever it is that you're doing the project with. It's like, all right, just flick a bunch of buttons until it looks pretty.
Well, there's points of diminishing returns too, right?
Yeah.
It's like I've sat there before and they're just the the worst incandescent light that just is like leans way green, and no matter whether you're too warm or too cold, it just looks bad.
Yeah.
And you're like, I'm not going to get the correct image until I can go back through and I can pull down sat on greens and yellows.
Yeah.
And I just can't. I'm not going to take the time to do it in camera, and nor do I even think I have the ability to do so.
And sometimes it's like, expose for subject, shoot for subject and all. And we're talking about like rooms and stuff, but it's like, even if you're shooting a person, sometimes there's a value of breaking a rule. So specifically with like white balance or ISO, it's like, if you know what the rule is and you know that it looks bad, but you want it to look that way for a specific type of shot. So there's, in the Halloween video, there's a part where you turn the lights off and it's a silhouette of Daniel. It's like, yeah, if you wanted to properly expose for the subject, you would have cranked the ISO so you could see his face again. But like the point was so you couldn't see his face anymore. Right. So it's like, then there it gets into those periods where your environment and like your scene affects the mood. So it's like, I guess something understandable for people that just aren't shooting cameras is like, if you go into a room and you change your light bulbs from that orangey brown color to the bright white color, like almost a blue hue or something in the middle, it's like those affect how people feel when they walk in the room. It also changes the color of the paint, the color of the floor, the trim, and all that. And you think about that whenever you're shooting, because that conveys an emotion to the viewer. And yeah, you could shoot it accurately, but sometimes you want to break those rules so people feel like the Jason Bourne movies, everything's like always really harsh lighting and really gritty. And it's like they're probably shooting under fluorescence 24/7. And then whenever you see a bright orange light, like a street light or something, it's so noticeable because they're color grading to make it more noticeable.
Right.
Yeah.
It's like really weird stuff like that. And then the shadows are real green, which we did try to do in some color LUTs. To try to push that with our style too, for like the Stranger Things knockoff, where it's like that is the aesthetic they did, and while it may not be how we would usually shoot for a more commercial production, that is what is technically correct to replicate someone else's look.
Yeah,
Yep.
I heard someone describe that's a major like part of art, but they're using it to describe like poems. Poems are like forcing words to be used in ways that you don't expect them to be, or not traditionally used. And so you're taking rules that everybody is familiar with and you twist them. And so it becomes something that you're not used to, and you have to think about it. And it's
like a pun, or like I don't know if you have any. It's kind of throwing you on the spot.
I don't have anything off the top of my head. But like, is what you're saying with like, you take the rule, like, properly exposing something. And, I don't know, it's like, like personifying like objects or like situations.
Yeah.
And like people don't do that in everyday conversation, but people do that in like poems or songs, where they take things and they twist them in a way that make you like, I don't understand like why, what, yeah. So, yeah.
Yeah. I mean, I think we're explaining art.
Yeah. So
art is about.
I want to say that is what art is.
Break
You're
the
taking
rules.
something and you completely do the wrong thing on purpose.
Subverting expectations is one of my favorite forms of art.
Yeah.
So Young Gravy just released a new album, and it's not somebody you want to listen to if you're if you're a wholesome boy or girl out there. However,
or if your children are around,
or if your children are around. There is on his new album he did release, and he references maidenless, which is something that is never, it's a word that's never used ever, except in one video game that became very popular in this past year. But it does align culturally with like rap music referencing guys that can't get girls and stuff like that. So in the same way, like poems subverting expectation and stuff, I just thought it was really funny that artists are still finding new pop culture references in very like niche, weird ways, and trying to include it into other more mainstream cultures, or just like combining two mainstream cultures that don't have overlap.
It surprises you, and you're like, whoa.
Yeah.
What? You didn't expect that.
I did not expect for a very crass rap song to reference a very Japanese influenced Western video game. Like, it was just very humorous to me that he would even have overlap in concept. And it's like, I want to try to find those values, and like, how do we take our niche knowledge and weird abstract things and include it into whatever it is that we're making artistically too.
Being creative.
Yeah.
Being creative.
Yeah.
There you go.
You know, another form of art or being creative, yes.
Segues.
Segues,
Those are so creative.
Segues into ads. Particularly ones about acting.
Yes, and theater.
Oh my God. Theater. Wow.
Oh, the ding dong. I don't know.
You just scrapped the whole segue. Hey, here's an ad.
Well, you called me out. Segways.
There's a segue to our sponsor.
Are you talking about like the two-wheel ridey thingy?
Yeah,
Segway.
Segways. They're really fun, really cool. Everybody wants
Dangerous.
one, just like how everybody wants to go
to Passion for Acting Theater
Passion for
Company.
Acting Theater.
That's true.
Wow.
Wow. Tell us about it.
Okay. Yeah, so in all seriousness, Passion for Acting Theater Company is our next ad, so I'm going to go ahead and read. Wow. Passion for Acting Theater Company has a passion for bringing excellent and entertaining live theater to audiences in Bartholomew County. I apologize about that. Passion for Acting Theater Company was created in 2018, and they perform dinner theater productions at the terrific and eclectic Willow Leaves of Hope on the Square in Hope, Indiana. Their first production, The Miracle Worker, was a huge success and received great reviews from audience members. Since then, Passion for Acting Theater Company has performed 10 shows, ranging from comedies like The Kitchen Witches and The Odd Couple, to drama and suspense like the original murder mystery Angel Street, to classic children's literature like The Secret Garden and Anne of the Green Gables. Their next show will be Kalamazoo, a comedy about what happens when older folks try to get into the online dating scene. Kalamazoo will be performed at Willow Leaves of Hope in February 2023, just in time for a Valentine's date or to laugh the winter blues away. Enjoy a delicious dinner and a great night of entertainment at Willow Leaves of Hope. The phone number there is 812-341-7251. Call now to make reservations for this laugh-out-loud comedy. You probably see your boys there. I think we should go. We've talked about it. I think right?
Yeah, TRIFLIX expense.
Budget man.
Budget man. You got a couple months to budget for this.
David, can I present a new segment to you? By no
yes,
means.
I want a new segment.
This is called Tristan Rants.
Okay.
So the previous whenever Nick was on, I had great segues, in and out of segues. We were bouncing around like crazy, and I thought they were awesome. And you know what? Cole said I can't segue anymore. So you know what? I'm just gonna crap all over your segues now.
And the reason why I brings it up, in conjunction with him being a budget man, we roll in the segue.
Roll another
Come
segue.
on, yes. Ooh, he's riding around. Look at him go. Everybody in the video, don't post in the comments. There's not a segue.
Thank you for that segment. There, back to
Segue.
the
There you go.
regular
Segue,
schedule podcast.
There you go.
That was a great segue, by the way.
Thanks, man.
Yeah.
Good job.
I had no idea where you were going with it.
Great. That was a bad segue.
No.
Do you guys have anything else to add on the old contract? I know we're
I
under the gun.
I tried to
contracts.
segue back into it, but nobody wanted.
You don't look at contracts?
I don't think I...
because he doesn't have one.
I don't have
That's
one.
true.
Yeah.
He is the
I
only
have it.
person here with a contract.
Well, I'm a contractor
You are a contractor of disease.
of words.
Pestilence.
I give very okay.
Well, if you guys, if you listeners have any questions about contracts or anything, we'd be happy to help in that department. It's something that we're definitely doing more of, and we're looking into to expand into and do better with.
We should also probably preface we are not legal experts in anything, and
Nope.
Yeah, so we are not lawyers.
We don't take anything. Take everything we say with a grain of salt. Nothing we say can be used for
Most
for
likely,
legal
All we do
reasons.
is have a podcast. That's
Right.
all we're
For legal
experienced.
reasons, that's a joke.
we'll probably just give you some resources. How about that?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Tell you smarter people to go to.
Reach out to David and ask how to write a contract. That's what you should do.
Yeah.
There you go.
And I'll
there
reach
you
out
go.
to somebody else and ask that same question.
Perfect.
Okay, well, speaking of segments,
Segue.
Oh, a new segment, two
To
in one
another
episode.
sponsor.
yes,
Woohoo!
another sponsor. Today we are sponsored by
Apple.
Axe. Axe for Men.
Axe body.
It's not even the body spray. It's literally axes
Yes.
for men.
Yeah.
Oh, we should do that.
Axe
Just make axes for
Yes.
men.
Yeah.
Axe for men.
No, they're not. not for women.
Oh man.
No. So it's like it's like the
The
CEO.
company would be canceled very quickly.
Those College Humor bits where the CEO of the company, it's usually Brennan or whatever.
Yeah.
He always portrays the CEO, and he always is a very distraught CEO about how poorly the company's running. And it's like the idea that
Great CEO.
the Axe CEO, the guy that makes this high school body spray, is just like
High school
really.
body spray.
He's like pushing this idea. He's like, we need to make Axe for women, and they like present this product, and it's like literally Axes for women. And he's like, no, how could you be so wrong? Like,
It's
kids
like-
are dying by using our
Like,
actual.
what are you talking
huffing-
about? What is this? It's like, didn't we buy Axe for Men? They roll it out. The company they bought is just the wrong one. And so it's like, we wasted all this money on this.
It's
I thought we were buying body spray.
Axe for men.
They're like, but smell the axe. It smells good.
mahogany.
This is the Phoenix axe. And this one's chocolate. Limited run.
Yeah. So what's the real segment?
Okay,
Yeah.
we have a new segment today.
I'm scared.
Presented by Mamitas.
We gotta focus.
Focus, sir. If anything, it's brought to you by DJI. Like all of our things, we recorded on DJI mics. No, so I decided months ago today, we would do a new segment.
Months ago today.
And I had a series of questions, 8 questions to be exact.
So it's like 20 questions, but 8.
Yeah.
That's hard.
I just thought it would be fun to ask a couple people around the office, Tristan, David, and Daniel, the people who were here today. I had them come down to my car, and I shut the door, and then I recorded them asking some questions. So I had some questions about TRIFLIX, about the office at TRIFLIX, and then one question just kind of shotgun out of a cannon, just, hey,
Crazy.
what do you think? Just to spice it up a little bit. So
Is that a phrase?
What?
Shotgun out of a cannon?
No,
Shotgun
I mixed
out
a
of-
couple different ones together.
No, I'm genuinely like, I'm not calling you out to call
I
you
like
out.
it.
I just wanted to know.
No, you
don't know?
I'm out of the
You don't know
ether.
shotgun
I'm making
out
up a
of
lot of stuff
Dude,
today.
shoot the cot gun out of the cannon. The Shannon.
Oh, wow, that's really cool. Okay, so I've got these questions.
He's not looking at anything. He was just acknowledging himself.
Yeah.
He's just like,
I'm cool.
wow, I'm really cool.
So this segment has no name. I didn't have time for that. So,
Justin, what's the name?
20 questions minus 12.
All right.
I love it.
That's it.
Okay. So what I segmented these out. So I'm going to tell you guys the question, and then I'm going to play the actual audio here of the answers. So it each, just for listeners out there, each question will be answered in the succession of Daniel, David, and then Tristan.
Your watch is
It got
writing
all of it.
everything you just said.
Go away, S word. I can't say it because she'll wake up. Maybe. Okay, so we're gonna jump right into this. The first question that I asked everyone was, "What does TRIFLIX mean?" Like the word.
The word TRIFLIX.
The fun thing about these is like some of these, with Tristan being co-founder, some of these questions that I asked, he only knows the answer to. So it's funny to hear everybody's answer and then his answer at the end. So
Okay.
My jumble.
just make sure that our audio is sounding good over there. But I'm gonna go ahead and pull this up for you guys.
You got it.
And play.
Try 3, and so flicks films. I mean, the proper definition would be like 3 films.
That's pretty close.
Either Tristan at the beginning and then merged with like flicks, like Netflix, or like something cheesy with like the God.
Do you really not
Son,
know?
Spirit, like try it, like God related. Probably the Tristan one though. He's got a big ego.
I did the company address. Hold on, we're gonna get the real answer.
You
here.
really don't know the
I don't know.
You've been here for 4 years.
Hey, you know what's funny? I didn't either.
We've talked
I
about
don't
this.
think you've-
Kat came in and asked us, like, when she started, I told everybody.
I don't remember.
We need a
this.
mission statement.
Okay, hold on. So Tristan's gonna answer the question now.
It's 3 entertainment categories, I guess. 3 video categories.
You kept it my whole
entertainment,
answer.
education, inspiration.
Yeah.
I knew
Entertainment,
I knew the
education,
3 part. I didn't
inspiration.
know where the try. That's where the try came from.
Yeah. So if you're Daniel was
You
actually
thought it was
right.
Tristan Flicks.
Yeah,
Tristan
no,
Flicks.
Daniel was
He said
right. He said
flicks.
3 films, TRIFLIX, and it was we wanted to focus on 3 areas of conveying information, and I feel like everything people consume is either informative, education, or inspiring, and the best media tries to incorporate multiples.
Yeah, I wouldn't have thought you had enough forethought for that.
No.
I thought you just liked how TRIFLIX sounded, and then you made that up afterwards.
That was the way I named my past company. I
Slow.
liked the way it sounded.
Yeah, I think
and then
it
I made
sounded great.
I made up a thing later.
Yeah.
They
Okay.
both have X's.
Next question is, who is the Office?
By the way, our logo is actually based on it too. That was all of the logo iterations. I always tried to find ways to incorporate 3, and that was actually the vertical 3, and then we ended up adding things onto the side of it.
Oh,
Yeah,
gotcha.
That's why it has like the little 3 on each side.
Now you know.
Yeah.
Okay. Next question I asked was, who is the Office Joker? Like, who is the least serious? Okay.
I don't know. It's hard because you guys have a different flavor of humor than I do. So I can't say directly.
How about who is the least serious person in the office?
Least serious?
Yeah.
I mean, that's Tristan, but I don't say that for humor's sake. I say that for Bing Bong's sake.
That's fair.
That's a great answer.
The least serious? I don't know. Probably Tristan.
David doesn't take much serious. They're probably gonna say me, but I feel like David he's in and out a lot.
Everybody but Tristan thinks it's true.
I would have said me just because I know that's what everybody would have said.
And he's like, I know everybody's gonna say me, but he said you.
Yeah.
I mean,
I feel like
I do my
you have a
responsibilities, but beyond that, I don't have that much impact.
you have a very casual
It's hard.
approach,
Yeah,
and that's all I was saying. I
yeah
just
life
think
should
you're-
be more casual.
Yeah.
Okay, so now we're gonna go with.
You're also the only person that said if you had $1 billion, you would still work at TRIFLIX.
That's true. That is
You
true.
have the best job here, and you're a great friend.
So next question, I wanted to ask the opposite: who is the most serious? So here we go.
David.
Really?
I would say depending on the day, sometimes it might be Cole. But also could be Daniel. Daniel is also he can be a little bit serious about some things. But, I don't know, it's like 50-50.
Probably Daniel.
That's my only answer. Stand by it.
What about you,
I know.
Cole?
I like how. Honestly, you know what's funny is I really thought everybody was gonna say me.
Nah.
It just depends. Like I said, it
you have-
depends.
yours like a 50-50. Depends on whether or not.
If there's stuff to get done, you hone in and you're like, I got to do this, and I respect that a lot.
Well, thank you, sir.
And I don't know, Daniel just. I don't know what he
I'd
does.
probably
half the
say
time.
Daniel.
I would
Like
say
a
in the
real
last,
answer.
last couple months, it's been Daniel.
Yeah, he's pretty serious.
Before that, I
I don't think it's a bad thing. I don't think it's a bad thing. To
Yeah,
be
you
serious.
You need that balance in the office.
Exactly.
Sugarcoat
Yeah.
it.
Okay, so the next question I asked was, what is something that you wish we would add to the office?
A microwave. I want to eat hot food, and I don't want to spend money to do it.
That's fair.
I would say I wish we had...
I
I don't know. It's so perfect. I just love the office. The office manager does a great job. He just buys everything that's needed for the office.
Anything? Yeah. Elevator.
Elevator.
just drop us the whole floor down. Either or.
I really want. I
Elevator.
love being downtown. The parking is questionable, but if we at least had an elevator that we could like pull up to
be so
on the
nice.
first floor and unload, I would be content with that until we're used to it, and then we'd want something else.
I really liked a lot of Tristan's answers. They were things that like, this was fun because I asked these questions and they weren't questions I had really thought too much about before. And to hear everybody's answers, I was like, wow, this was like a huge insight. So I'm
Yeah.
like, I'm gonna have to start. You guys are gonna start getting surveys in your emails.
You learn what everybody's struggle is. Daniel just wants warm food, and I'm like, I'm tired of carrying stuff. And David's got a great day, great life, loves his job.
He's just happy about it all.
Killing it over here.
Okay, this was one of my favorite questions. I asked everybody what they thought of the snacks in the office.
All right.
Bland, Not great. Something's in the granola bars. I don't know what it is, but it doesn't help the office as far as smells go. Because it's not good.
Then stop eating them. He like keeps eating them and he's like complaining about the smell. I just can't stop. There's something in them.
These aren't good.
Okay, let's
We
see.
will buy. We buy based on what's like goes
Consumed,
quickest and what's
yes.
consumed. It's like obviously Lay's chips and Cheetos are always the last out.
Yeah.
And
It's true. It's true.
If we see the granola bars going quick, now we know.
Okay, let's see what David had to say.
I like only about 2 of the like 7 types of chips that are in the boxes. Mainly, I don't like the ones that are like super greasy. I don't like Lay's chips, and so I just can't.
I'm on board with this guy.
We feel terrible.
Affordable. That's my feeling. I wish we could afford more healthy snacks. That's what I wish we could do. But even then, I know nobody else would eat the healthier version, so it doesn't matter.
Staring me down. I don't understand.
You know what? This brings us back to another little segment we like to call Rants by Tristan, brought to you by Mamitas. Daniel's answer is valid. Yours has no validity. I went to the store and I asked everyone prior. I said, "What do you want? What kind of things do you want?" You said, "I like kettle chips."
Yeah.
I go to Sam's Club. We have an entire box
We do.
specifically of kettle chips because
Where?
you worked hard last month.
there.
And
They're
I was
not
like,
open.
They're for you.
I had bought them because that was the snack you prefaced. You said, "I want this snack." And I went to the store and I
figured
bought
we were-
an entire box of chips that only you asked for. Thank you, Mamitas, for the sponsorship.
We haven't opened them.
Open them! You're the office manager! It's literally
I
your
figured
job
we'd go
to
through a
open.
box at a time.
It's literally your job to open the box. Who are you waiting on?
This is the most hot take. Office snacks.
I thought we were going to like slowly ration it out. Like once we get through the first box, we open up the
So
next
we
box.
eat all the snacks you hate, and then we get to your box, and then you complain when everybody
They're
else
all
eats
gone
them.
in like a day because
That's
I eat
true.
them all. I just
I love this so much.
I bought them for you.
Okay. Okay. I'm pushing on, everyone. This was fantastic, okay? I told you that was my favorite question for many reasons.
Yeah.
I think we need to have a meeting about the snack situation. Okay. My next question was if you could make...
Sorry. We did acquire an air fryer just for Daniel, by the way.
Oh, we did. I forgot.
Yeah, it's here today. I'll bring it into the office
Nice.
tomorrow.
Okay.
Sorry.
He's going to be pumped.
Yeah.
I forgot we did that.
And we got him a mouse pad. Daniel's just...
Wow.
I
Getting the love.
I felt bad the other day. I came in. I literally went up to Tristan and I was like, "Can we buy the boy a mouse pad?"
He was just you're just here scrunching and grinding on his desk for months.
Well, he asked for it a while ago. It was like $10. I was like, "Buy the kid a mouse pad." Like,
It's been acquired.
we forgot.
Budget man was like, "Well,
We don't have the money for that. We bought too many kettle chips.
I bought David kettle chips."
Okay.
Sorry.
Moving on.
Moving on.
Okay. My next question was if you could make one improvement without needing to run it by anybody, you could just say, "I want this. It's done within TRIFLIX." Mm-hmm. That's what I asked. So, here we go.
Better script writing, for sure. That's what I'm trying to improve myself already. But overall, if I could just wish that into existence,
That's fair.
I would.
We don't
Paint
have
all the
anyone
walls a
here.
different color.
Yeah, and he said he said all parties.
Yeah. Yeah. No, that's fair.
Paint all the walls a different color.
That's very fair.
I hate the color of the walls. It is such an ugly color.
Take out a credit line and hire someone to just shoot vlogs all day, every day.
Okay.
I think these were all great things.
Yeah.
These all need to go in the suggestion box or something.
The walls and LEDs. I think just the color of this building in general is horrid.
Yeah.
However,
I think they're all very
we're
good points.
Very grateful for the price point.
Yes.
And it is well within reason.
Thank you,
Yes.
Laura.
Thank you, Laura.
Okay, next one was a piece of dream tech or camera equipment that you wish TRIFLIX had.
Probably a red camera.
A super fast server,
Yeah.
or just better computer stations for everybody.
Honestly, just a studio, like our own studio. I was gonna say a van, but what dream bigger?
Yeah.
Again, all valid points.
All very relative to what the person does in the office too.
That is
We
true.
literally talked about almost all three of those things like in a van, like having a mobile studio, have a server in the van, have cameras in a van.
Dude,
just go.
get the
it's literally all one thing.
The
that we talked about
ubiquities
before.
on top of the van, so it just like
Yeah.
goes to hot spots around the city.
Heck yeah. I thought it was funny that the boy asked for red.
I
Because the Ronin fills my need for that.
don't know why he specified. We'll have to ask him to go into a little more detail on that because
Tell him to drop the 30K.
oh, this is not. Did he specify what version?
No,
I
no.
mean, Komodo's five. The
There's
Komodo
6 or whatever, yeah.
We could have kitted out a Komodo when it was all said and done, but for a little more than the price of the Ronin.
Yeah,
but
'cause
the
you'd have to get a
function-
gimbal.
Well, the functionality of just unlatching some things, leveling your gimbal, and turning it
Yeah.
on is worth so much more to me than
It's beautiful.
Yeah,
But we-
they have to use those proprietary stupid cards, like the red.
red
Red
mags
mags.
or whatever they are.
Yeah.
Yeah. So like
We
to
would've
me,
spent
it's more
more.
of a functionality thing. But I wonder what it is that he thinks. That's very condescending. I wonder what it is that he would prefer about a red.
Yeah. No, I think we should ask him. Okay, so I got one more question. This one was my off the cuff. I said, if animals could talk, who do you think would be the rudest?
The rudest animal?
Yep.
Dolphins. They're just snobs, like, first of all. Second of all, like, stuff that dolphins do. Like, you think sharks are bad. Look up what dolphins can do. They're terrifying.
I know what he's talking about, but it's
Isn't that
just
great?
really funny that he knows.
Isn't that great? So I'm just curious. Can you guys guess what each of you said real fast?
What Tristan said.
And don't say yes or no. Just guess, and then we'll play it through.
I don't know. You would have just said something random like giraffe.
I bet you'd say like monkey.
Okay.
They're like the chimpanzees of the sea. They're
He
just
had a little bit more.
disgusting.
Disgusting.
A donkey. I don't know. Everybody's they can be jack.
Probably like goldfish. 'Cause everybody always thinks they're really dumb and short-term memory, and they're like probably really smart, and everybody's just like always insulting them to their face. And they're not having it. They're done.
So they're not naturally mean. You're just saying they're naturally oppressed.
Yeah,
Yes.
like they've had enough, and they've had too long. People have insulted to them
Yeah.
to
Sick
their
of it.
face.
Yeah,
and they're just like,
they want revenge.
they want revenge, which is also I would in hindsight I could have said beta fish just because the name they didn't get a picket, but they're always known as the beta fish.
It's true.
It's like I want to be the alpha fish. Was that name already taken? Why did they have to be the beta fish?
Yeah. Well, we were
don't
both
know.
wrong.
Yep.
What about you?
The rudest animal? Oh, I think it's dogs.
Dogs?
Oh, I think it's I think if they could talk, I think they'd be sailors, man.
Yeah. They just be cursing at each other.
Oh yeah. No holds
I can
barred.
see it.
They just don't even care. That's what I think they're always barking at each other. I think they're cussing at each other.
Cicadas are just a bunch of cat calls.
Yeah.
It's like the loudest 80 decibel cat call.
They're like the minnows from SpongeBob.
Nice. I like that segment. That was good.
Yeah,
I like that.
it's almost as good as the rant.
Oh yeah.
Sponsored by
But
Mummy
we're
I'll
just-
go open up one of those and eat it now.
Yeah, we're just stacking them up here, and then we're gonna revolve some ones back in. I just figured we should keep it fresh for the first little while. So,
oh no, I love it. I love it. I don't know what other people like, but we made
But
this,
I like
we
this.
made this show for us. All right.
Yeah.
It's true.
Well, hey, to be fair, in my defense, the last time we had chips, we
Oh my
intentionally
gosh.
put in front all of the chips nobody wanted to eat on
That's
display.
true.
Like, we want people to eat those.
So when we had guests in, they would eat the chips we didn't want.
That's true. That's true.
And so I was like, why would I open up all the good stuff? Then we would just be left with all the terrible.
It sounds like we need a snack locker.
We need a.
We need a cabinet that
We
locks.
need a
That's what I'm
vending
saying.
I need to empty out my. I just moved from the apartment.
Ration.
I need to empty out all my my closing drinks.
You're closing.
What?
Anytime we close a deal, we have drinks.
Oh, yeah,
So
yeah.
we need closing drinks.
I
I
got
didn't
you.
know about this.
I mean,
Well, you're not part. Are you part of the
you
executive
closing?
team?
Are you closing?
Am I close?
Coffee's for
Always be
closers.
closing.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't remember your name being on the commission board.
I can change that.
Right now, Daniel's racking them in.
He is. He's got
Yeah.
two, so 2 big ones.
Big plums.
Down
was
in my
thinking it.
plums.
I was
Purple shoe.
all this little
The juice runs down my
little school children.
runs down my chin. Ready to take a farmer's market. Okay.
Do we have anything else?
Yes, we do. Speaking of stability, we're going to talk about gimbals because this week's tip was about gimbals.
Wow.
For those of you who are not familiar, a gimbal is an electronic stabilizer for camera gear. And it can go beyond that, but for the sake
Why
of
would you use
what we do,
stabilizers?
what's the one Cloverfield? Is that
Blair Witch Project?
Yeah.
Is
Yeah, both of them.
older horror genre.
Yeah, go
really lean into it.
Go watch some clips of those, and you'll understand why these things have become very popular. It fits for the story, but at the end of the day, you're just like, you feel like you've been riding a car with no suspension up a rocky hill.
If you want to learn more about Cole's motion sickness, we talk about that all the time. Actually,
If you want smooth, just the very buttery shots, this is one of the devices that is an affordable way to get to that.
yeah. Think of all
without
the,
using a dolly or something
all
like
the
that.
Marvel movies. They overuse them, in my opinion. But
There's a time and a place. Don't get me wrong.
do movies without gimbals, like if they lean really heavy into it, like the Jason Bournes and the Blair Witch, do those make you feel nauseous at all?
No.
Okay.
No, I mean, most of them, I don't want to say all of them, but most of films like that, it's tastefully used. It depends, but I'm just saying it's tastefully used. It gets used in the right parts, right? It's like you get shaky
Yeah.
cam during the fight scenes in Bourne.
I don't know, that Jason Bourne movies, man. It's like
Never bothered me.
somebody strapped a camera to the end of a weed eater and just let it rip.
Let it rip.
and then eventually it like times up with the shutter, so like you just see like slight deviations in the motion on
Wasn't it Jason
rotation.
Bourne, one of the later ones where like there was a super cut of a guy jumping over a fence and it like does like 10 cuts of like
They probably did that because they do everything every once
it
in a
was
didn't
while.
bother
over the
me.
top jumping over a fence and there's like 10 different camera angles
It's
of jumping over one
disorienting.
fence.
You have to cover shots like that with extra shots because you didn't do it in camera with like a trained. Generally, you do it for that reason. But if you have someone trained, you could do it with a gimbal and do a oneer or more extravagant shots or use VFX to fill it. And that's what like big productions like Marvel do, where they rely on jibs and gimbals, which you can put a gimbal on a jib. It's like a big arm.
It's called a gimbal.
A gimbal.
We're going to the gym, working real hard.
So these are things we have here at the office, though. Is the gimbals. We don't have a jib. Not yet.
Not yet.
No
But yeah,
gimbals.
no, yes, we don't have any gimbals. So in our video that we made this week, we showed all 3 of the options we have here. We have all of them are DJI products, which in my opinion, they are not the cheapest.
Hashtag not sponsored.
Yes, hashtag not, but we could be. Ask
should
me,
be.
email us. Do we have contact at TRIFLIX.com?
Yeah, we do.
Perfect. Hit us up there. Or
DJI, we know you're listening.
just hit us up, man.
Deity, you're listening.
Yeah,
we
don't
don't
listen.
care about Disney.
So we have,
care about Disney. No, Disney.
as
Whatever
we
your
just
name is.
referenced Marvel like 4 times.
Yeah.
So we have 3 different kinds. They're all DJIs. We have the Osmo Mobile. We use that for our phone. We shoot a lot of projects now with the iPhone 13 Pro in ProRes format with Filmic. We just started using that app. It's been amazing.
Told you my phone could do what we do.
Not so much. Again, we're using a different format. I know you're trying to get a rise out of me, and it's working, but we shoot in a different format that you have to enable on an iPhone to use in general, which I shot, I don't know, maybe 30 minutes worth of footage the other day, all 4K 60, and it was 200 gig. So just consider that.
If you want to hear a bigger discussion on this, watch our last podcast episode. No, two podcast episodes ago.
It's not quite a third Tristan rant in one episode, but for somebody that's big of a proponent of reducing server size, you kind of overshot.
For sure. For sure. But I figured, what's another 30 frames? It won't change that much.
Dude, so like for reference, to shoot this size on your old phone generally would be 40 gigs-ish? 50? 50?
I don't know. I haven't really done this one yet with the phone.
Like if you
normally a walkthrough would be probably 40 to 60 gig, yeah.
So quadruple the size.
Yeah, don't worry about it. I figured more frames, more
because
pretty.
he went from like HD to 4K and then 30 to 60.
So
Yes.
what value do we get from shooting in that way?
Well, here's the thing. I like 60 FPS because it's real. I just think it's so smooth. I've just always loved high FPS, just film in general. Tristan, he don't like it, which I get it. It's not the thing. It's not the standard. It's not the artistic thing.
Yeah.
I think it looks great. He doesn't like it, which is fine.
I do. There are times where it looks good. I think it's an application thing. I think it depends on what content I'm consuming.
Yes. And my thought behind it, I was thinking of you guys, okay? I shot at 60 because I was like, if anything needs to be slowed down, they have the option.
Yes.
That was the
accurate.
point.
Yeah.
Mostly. The other part is I don't really fully understand the different ProRes codecs. So I shot in 422 HQ.
Which is the biggest, the highest.
Yeah. So again...
Is it? I thought there was 444.
Well,
there is, but the highest I could do on the phone.
Yeah. So generally we shoot LT, and all this means is how much data does your phone write whenever it takes a photo or a video? In this case, it's specifically video. So whenever you change it to the higher setting, it just writes more data, which allows you more flexibility when you're editing. However, the difference is between LT, the lowest, and HQ, the highest. You said HQ, right?
Yep.
Yeah. The difference between that is about 4 times, well, 2 to 4 times, it depends on the phone and stuff, 2 to 4 times the file size, and the amount of data you get is not significant for what we do.
Right.
If you're doing like sunset color grades, sure. But for 99% of users, LT is well within what you need.
Even proxy sometimes.
Yeah.
It can be.
Yeah.
Depends on what it is.
Yep.
You're not going to be doing any like editing afterwards.
Yeah.
But proxy can look great.
Yeah.
So
if you ever shoot proxy, I'll shoot you in the foot.
Okay.
No, LT is the lowest you go.
Okay, well, that's what I'm saying. That's my whole thing is like, I want to shoot. I want it to look good. So I'm just going to max out all my settings. In that way, no, you might be mad about this file size, but at least that's the only thing.
Yeah. No, I'd rather too much than not enough. And honestly,
we talked about this. I wanted you to go through the app with me.
The fact that we're talking about this means it probably should be a tip video.
Yeah, true. I'm down with that.
Explainer.
We can talk about ProRes
Good
codecs.
explainer.
Yeah, just something simple that shows graphs of like how big it is, but then also if you grade it, because that's really the reason you would do it is grading.
Right.
Is like how much more color do I get?
Yeah, it makes a big difference. And for those of you listening as well, Filmic Pro is an app that you can download on your iPhone that really unlocks some video potential.
Any phone. It's Android too.
Oh, it's Android too?
Yeah.
That's really
gotcha.
cool.
So I guess it's cross-platform. So you should definitely, I mean, if you're into it, I mean, so many people, they have a lot of potential in their pocket. And if you can't afford a camera, like use it. It's a $30 or $40 app. Like buy it and do the thing, because this will unlock a lot more potential, especially on the iPhone, just with being able to use ProRes.
Well, with any phone really, because a lot of times the manufacturer does software limitations that prevent your phone running less stable,
Yeah.
But the value you gain is you get more features or more resolution, or the camera can do more basically.
Well, and manual controls.
So it's like
huge.
There's the idea that the company's doing it for your protection because your phone will last longer because it's not being pushed 100% all the time. But then there's also the idea of, well, if you want the better camera, you'll just pay more for the better version. A lot of times it's the same camera and the same processor in all the phones, and they just do software limitations so that you'll buy the better one.
Yeah.
But if you download an app, it's your phone. The Apple lost that court case like 15 years ago. So if you want to download an app to use the hardware, it's your choice.
And Filmic Pro, it actually unlocked the capability to not shoot ProRes in only 4K 30, but be able to shoot in 4K 60.
Yeah.
Apple limits you to 4K 30 and ProRes within their
That's
app.
gotta. I genuinely think that's not malevolent. That's probably an overheating issue.
Well, that or again size, because I can shoot if I shoot in just regular formatting, QuickTime or .mov. Like if you shoot in that, like I can probably shoot 4K 60 and take a 200 or 300 megabyte within a 5-minute video. But there were files that were 16 gigabyte a piece.
Well, imagine a storage issue too, because there's some types of storage that are slower, faster
for write speeds.
So
you drop frames.
Yeah.
Well, and like also like imagine a general user who's like, well, I learned about this app and it's real cool, and also I'm live streaming for my family's bar mitzvah, and for 4 hours I'm going to live stream at 4K 60 or something like that. It's like
not gonna be a problem.
The Facebook's not gonna limit
5G.
it, and then they're also trying to like charge their phone or something at the same time. So it's like the Facebook doesn't even use anything higher than 720 for their live streams. And it's like maybe they're going to Twitch or whatever, and maybe they're actually using 4K, but even then they're not using 60. So it's like the phone just genuinely doesn't need to do it, and even if you do it, it's not going to work right. So I don't think all companies that software lock their phones are trying to charge an extra nickel. Some of it's for a good reason.
Well, bringing it back around, Filmic actually does enable interface with the Osmo Mobile gimbal.
Ooh,
so you can actually you can map the controls on the gimbal itself. It has like a directional pad and a couple other buttons. You can actually map those to do different things. So if you want to change exposure or ISO, or zooming and changing lenses or focus racking, you can do all that through a physical interface, which is really cool.
Well, yeah, I mean, if your hands are full too, does that,
makes all the difference for sure. Because, to get a stable shot with a gimbal, it is usually, it's recommended to definitely have two hands to help stabilize everything. Because, as spoke about in the video, there are 3 axes normally located on the gimbals. Pan, tilt, and roll. Those are the usual. So there's one thing that you normally miss out on. So the Osmo Mobile has the 3. The next step up for us, we have the Ronin SC. It is an older model, but it was one of the first really good, affordable, smaller form factor gimbals, and we use that with our mirrorless DSLRs like the Nikons. That is also a 3-axis. So what you lose in those is the up and down motion of your arms. So you'll see people do these little steady walks with the gimbal, and it's because that up and down control, your Z-axis, that is not controlled by the gimbal itself. So it'll help a little bit, and your stabilization in the camera will help with that as well. But DJI was like, hey, we're going to take this to a whole other level. And they released the Ronin 4D, which it's called 4D because it has the 4 axes, and the one they added was the Z, and that is the straight up and down stabilization. So as you'll see in our video, we take the Ronin 4D and we bump it up and down, and you can see that arm that holds the camera actually stabilizes the camera, which is just, it's insane. You guys got to go see the video if you haven't. It shows all 3 of the different gimbals in use, stabilizing the cameras. It's amazing. And there's a example in there as well that goes back and forth on the on what's a stabilized shot and what's not. Sorry, lost it. So there's an example.
I love examples.
Yeah. So gimbals are important. They, especially if you're wanting to get, I think the smooth look also helps to convey a more cinematic look.
It does until it doesn't. I would say
yes.
it's like the bridge between like entry and cinema is like always getting closer and closer with like shallow depth of field, like we talked about previously. It's like that was unattainable. Everybody was shooting at f/22 handy cams, and it's like now you have that, and then you're also getting like gimbals now, and that's like everybody on TikTok, on social media, YouTube, everybody can get one right now. Like we talk about that in the videos, like, you know, you can get one for your cell phone. It's like $100, and that's awesome. So I would say, like,
and just to reference that really fast since you said it, so the Osmo is like 100, 150. Our SC was somewhere from like 350 to 450, something like that, and they have a new 2.0 version. I think they're around the same price. And then the Ronin is a lot of money. So just to put it in perspective. Sorry.
Yeah. So it's like, it's those things are getting more attainable, and it's kind of like the thing we were talking about earlier with like different looks. Like 24 FPS looks good to me because that's the way cinema looks. But as that gets more attainable, now people are growing up and they're not associating that look with cinema. They may be associating that same look of gimbal, shallow depth of field, and like 24 FPS with social media. So it's like, what's the next like version of media consumption that is going to be unattainable for consumers to produce? You know, like what can TRIFLIX not make, but Hollywood can? And right now that's like The Wall and The Void and all these things. It's like until
and having TVs the size of a room.
So until like those things become accessible, that's like going to be the next forefront. And that's like what we try to do with TRIFLIX, is like we're always trying to find out what is on the cutting edge, and like how can we try to adapt, and like working with DALL-E and Stable Diffusion. It's like that is so forefront for our industry. It's like, how to use AI to create art, and instead of being afraid of like it's going to take our jobs, it's like, nah, people still have to run it. It still has to be learned, and if you don't want to learn, somebody else will, and they'll hop in.
It's like IKEA versus paying somebody to make you a chair.
Yeah,
it's like people are still going to make chairs, and people will still pay buttloads of money for a handmade wooden chair.
Yeah, but the bridge between that and like a pile of sticks that you built in your backyard when you were 4 years old is like, that divide's getting smaller, but that level of quality, that extra bit of quality you get from a custom chair may cost 10 times more.
Right.
And not everybody's going to view it as 10 times better. But that's like why we do what we do, is like that 10% better is still worth it to us, and we want to get as close as we can to it.
Dang.
Yeah.
That was an awesome plug.
Yeah.
I think we're going to end on that.
Sweet.
I dig it.
Go check out the things.
Wow.
Read us out, producer
I
man.
like making the things.
Yeah, we got some awesomeness going on. If you haven't seen the Halloween video, I know we're coming up on a week, but hey, give it a watch. We had a lot of fun making it. Again, I'm pretty proud of it, so go check it out. We should have some more new stuff. Who knows what it is, but it should be out.
Is
I don't know yet.
Is it not? No.
We'll see.
I did good VFX. It'll be out. Whatever.
It's going to be out at some point, but we have to decide when.
Follow, subscribe, so you don't miss it.
That's what I was going to say. So we've got a lot going on. We're getting ready to wrap up the year. So there's a lot of cool stuff that we're trying to wrap up and push out before January. So pay attention, check everything out, subscribe, do all the things, hit the buttons and the bells and the dings, and go to TRIFLIX.com
and eat your freaking cattle chips.
No, I don't want to.